So Mr. Snipes spoke with the IRS. Slight problem. Seems to avoid taxes you falsely filed as a non-resident.
Yeah, we can't help you.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Hey.
Okay.
Well, we get that you're stressed. Okay, we all have stress, but you cannot list as your state of origin the shadow world.
The bridge between what is reality and the unreal is very small.
Yeah, but you clearly were born in America, so...
Daywalker is not a citizenship.
But maybe I don't see it that way.
Okay, but here on Earth, we pay taxes in this country as human beings, and therein lies the problem.
You worry too much, old man.
Old man?
Man,
Was he you or
37?
I'm only 34.
Looks like your mascara's running.
Well, you're not getting it, Wesley.
What do you think, I'm stupid?
Yes, because you listed as a dependent a bat.
I did.
You don't understand the problem.
Look, I don't need a history lesson.
Okay, assuming you're a vampire, you clearly would be the bat. You can't list yourself as a dependent.
Deportation.
What's he
doing?
I don't think it's a curse. I don't.
Latin curse.
I'm not.
Okay,
I don't know.
all right. Mr. Snipes, you list as home office coffin.
What's the square footage on that?
1600 what?
Don't let the IRS take advantage of you. Contact Tax Network USA for immediate relief and expert guidance. You can call 1-800-245-6000 or visit tnusa.com/Crowder.
Oh, we have a lot to get to today, and a lot to get to today on Mug Club Rumble Premium. Many tens of thousands of you were still staying with us there yesterday, so we got something for you. Let's get to the rundown. I don't know if you know this, but there's some election denial afoot from the left. Here's the thing: tonight makes no sense. And I'll disabuse you of the notion if you think that this election was stolen. Now, I will say, I question the results as I did the last election because, you know, the giant trucks, as you witnessed election night with us going into Philadelphia, yes. It was safer and more secure in spite of some efforts from the left. But to argue that it was stolen from Donald Trump makes no sense. The view melted down over the Border Czar pick we spoke about yesterday. And we're going to go through the top cabinet positions that we're looking at with this administration. And there's a theme. It is a concerted approach, targeted approach in international policy, and a cost-efficient approach when you look at all the picks together. Yeah. So actually, it's something I'm excited to see. And Germany ran out of paper, but we'll get to that in a second. When we're talking about Germany today,
oh, come on.
That means there's a very good chance that at some point, if you're watching on YouTube, you see this. Head on over to Rumble. It's a weekday show, 10 a.m. Eastern, and especially now with Rumble Premium ad-free, there's no reason to watch on YouTube. YouTube sucks. Captain Morgan, number 2 CEO, how are you?
I'm good. Do you ever put your headphones on and lose control of one of them and whack yourself?
No, I have control of my neuromuscular function.
I kind of boxed my left ear.
Oh, well, Parkinson's can be funny. We'll keep an eye on it.
I'm recovering.
I whacked myself this morning.
Oh.
But,
hey.
That's different. That's different.
I ran into a wall.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's good. I've done that too.
Yeah.
There's really no coming back from that when you walk into a wall, especially when it's a wall that's been in that same house since you've lived there.
Yeah, you're like, where did this come from?
Yes. Mr. Firestine, by the way, I forgot that. You're going to be Friday, Saturday. Is it November 15th and 16th?
Yeah, this week.
Yeah.
JP's Comedy Club, Gilbert, Arizona. Go out, guys. Go out and enjoy live comedy. It's time to celebrate with your fellow thing.
Yeah.
What?
Best promo ever.
Yes.
Cut that for me.
I forgot. We don't have that hoodie anymore.
We don't have this anymore? We don't sell this anymore?
I don't
This is an exclusive?
Yeah, I don't think we have it anymore. So people can.
Jealous.
I just tried to cut my lip.
You know what
you
we
had
should
walked
do?
into a wall. I cut my lip. What? We should get to the show.
No, we need to re-release that shirt.
Okay.
We should do it.
Hey, who do you want to see in the cabinet? Comment below. Let's start with that. Matlock is not a real person.
Oh.
Oh, before we get to anything else, by the way, we haven't done this in a while, but CNN brought on Slappy the Dummy, so it's time for CNN's Weird Face of the Day. There you go. Here you go. There you go. And zoom in.
Yeah.
Zoom in.
That's just... Oh,
this man was lazy with the rouge.
Somebody said, that's good. Go.
Yeah. It looks like he's in some kind of like Chinese play.
Or dying.
He's all chin.
That is a lot of chin. You're right.
Ever hear of blending? It just looks like he just went pop, pop. Good. I look like I was, I looked like I went down to Barbados for a little bit.
When he came on CNN and played, I ain't got no strings to hold me up.
Well, that's because he spends his time at, was it Pleasure Island or Fantasy Island or Temptation Island?
He goes to all of them. I heard he was at Epstein Island. I don't know who this guy is. I feel bad now.
Representative John Garamendi from California.
That's there you go, ruining it and humanizing him.
Come on.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Blame Reese.
This has been CNN's Weird Face of the Day. All right.
I love that we have a segment for that.
So some context.
It was official.
Yesterday they brought on a homeless guy.
I saw that.
It's just, I don't know what they're doing.
See what they're doing. Yeah.
So let me provide some context first as to why the left is denying. And what I mean by this is a certain subsection of the left, but it's sizable enough to warrant attention. It's not just a few people.
Yeah.
It's verified people on X. It's some people on YouTube. You get some people in the media. There are quite a few people out there who now are saying this election was stolen. Here may be the reason why. So last night, Decision Desk HQ called Arizona, I believe District 6 for Republican. I want to make sure I get his name right. Juan Ciscomani? Juan Ciscomani. I don't know.
Say it Italian. You got to Ciscomani.
Ciscomani. Is it Italian or is it something else?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's one of the good immigrants. That's all that matters. So that means, what does this mean now? This means that the Republican Party has the Senate, the Republican Party has the House, and of course you have Donald Trump, and you have a conservative-leaning Supreme Court. Looks like Republicans could actually even pick up more seats, 2 seats from what we're, as of the time right now, it's 10:15 Eastern, 2 more seats in the House, and the DNC official platform had this to say.
Always, yeah.
So the checks and balances that we have in our system of government with the Donald Trump administration seem to mainly be checks right now. And of course, Mr. Trump is having a house party to celebrate. The man likes to have a good time.
There we go.
And
whoa, J.D. Vance with the moves.
There he is.
So how is the left now taking the news? And by the way, this is nothing new. It's a repeat of 2016. That's why I've always said, hey, you have the right to question the election.
Of course.
Just provide some substantiation. And by the way, I don't think anyone here is asking for any of these people to be removed, censored, throttled, shadow banned in any way.
No.
Right? On social media.
No.
Right?
And whenever they win 24 of 32 cases that are heard on the merits, they can come talk to me.
Absolutely.
I say challenge everything you can.
There you go.
It's
Challenge.
legal.
And I don't know if you know this, but your electors don't even have to certify it. Why don't you try something there in January?
January 6th, I'd mark that day on the calendar.
Do it. If you care about our democracy, you'll do it. So I'm going to make all the references available as we do, link in the description. This is what the left is saying now. Here is from this is a Twitter profile. This one has 2.6 million views. So Trump won all 7 battleground states now? That's fishy as Here's the thing.
Wow.
It's actually not fishy as fuck at all. And the reason is these were battleground states. These were swing states, which means they could swing in either direction. It's almost like it's precedented where if there is one overwhelmingly popular presidential candidate, they tend to win all the swing states.
That's right.
That's why they are swing states. It's not as though this is a mathematical impossibility. So a little bit different from the substantiation that we provided, for example, with voting anomalies, people voting from addresses that weren't there, the analytics that were provided regarding overnight dumps, regarding media bias and election interference. Here's another tweet with 3.2 million views. It says, all caps, "This election was rigged by Trump, Leon, and Russia." Of course, I think they mean
Who's
Elon.
Leon?
Elon, yeah. Maybe that's his new name. Who knows?
Is it the king of Leon?
And they said Starlink was used. Millions of votes weren't counted. Fact check: Starlink was only used in California, not in any of the swing states. But I should note that this tweet was actually brought to you by hipster Mike Lindell. So that's yes.
You're an asshole.
Oh, it's my barber.
My Starlink. It's not a good Starlink. It's not made from the finest American Starlinks.
Why did we make it stuffed sausage, Mike Lindell?
Can I see it again? It was
bring it
quite.
up.
It was
Look at
quite
that
funny.
He's barely fitting into those clothes.
I was
yeah.
drinking third wave coffee before it was cool.
I think that's actually a photo of me with his face.
Oh, come on. That's not true, Josh.
No, it's not. I would never wear.
By the way, PolitiFact gave this one a pants on fire rating.
What's this funny?
it's a liar rating.
So these are substantial enough that they have to be addressed.
Yes.
This is from one of our favorite, the Democratic Underground. Hey,
man.
maybe someone here, Democratic Underground, has a membership there, and you don't know. We're amongst you. So they said, questioning results is healthy.
Okay.
Especially considering the fact that we have been warned by the world's most prominent security experts. They told us that our election system has significant security vulnerabilities. That wasn't any security expert. That was Amy Klobuchar in 2016 with her little boy's bowl cut.
A little documentary called Kill Chain.
So making the argument out there a little bit more eloquently, I guess I should say, than these posts, is this Twitter user explaining the 2024 stolen election herself.
Number one, why in the flying freaking flap, okay, we're voting fucking ballot or voting ballot boxes or whatever, the places where you go to fucking vote.
You got it.
Why were they connected to the internet? Those machines have absolutely no problem tallying up votes like they have done since the beginning of time. And then the places that he sent Starlink to were only to swing states.
You don't say.
Man, come the f*** on, bro.
Now, I should note, the source matters. This video was brought to you by My Dumb Bitch, my perfect, made from the finest American dumb bitches. We have the best. European bitches are assholes.
I got to get a hand of the editors here.
Come on, my perfect dumb bitch looks like Weird Al had a baby with Cher.
Oh, it's got that guy's rouge.
They nailed the
It's got
forehead.
that CNN guy's rouge.
My perfect rouge.
You know what they didn't get was her crack addict scratch marks on her chest she had. I don't know if you noticed that she had a red line on her chest.
And she also had tattoos there to try to cover it up, so,
My tattoos.
No.
We got a parlor. Everything comes out Chinese writing.
So the conclusion to this segment is the left is confirming the red wave. And look, let me be really clear here. You absolutely have the right to, and I think should, question election results. And you know what? I'll be right there with you. I question some of the results in some of these tight races locally. I question some of the results as it relates to, for example, in Pennsylvania, what we saw that night, what we saw taking place, we saw some machines breaking down in Arizona. Yeah, I think these are problems. And I think this is where we could find common ground. The common ground has to start with voter ID. How about that?
There we go.
If you don't believe in some kind of voter identification, then you're just bitching because you lost. We have been remarkably consistent on how elections should be conducted. I would welcome that from the left. This is not a season for finding common ground on a lie. And I've said this for years, but I mean this now. This is more important now than ever. You do not attempt to find common ground on a lie. We can offer some common ground if people are willing to follow us along with the truth. The common ground here is, let's strengthen our elections. National voter ID law for elections. Proof of citizenship for whatever said ID has to be used. Okay, can we do that? Comment below. And you know what? I have ears to hear. By the way, this is a big deal too. After the election, we're unbelievably grateful for the response. Join Rumble Premium. Click that button right there. Mug Club is Rumble Premium. Rumble Premium is Mug Club. You get an ad-free experience on Rumble, just like you do if you do YouTube Plus, but you also get all of Mug Club, 100% more show, Friday show, Nick DiPaolo, Mr. Guns and Gear, and everything else that is at Rumble Premium. You're tired of hitting tip jars and Patreons everywhere. Eventually, we want to bring everyone here. $99 annually or $9.99 a month. Give it a whirl, and we have a new mug incoming. Let's go down to the View because it's fun.
For who? For
us.
Oh,
this is such a terrible show.
So I'll show you the clip in its entirety.
Yeah.
First. And remember, The View used to just be like, it just used to be morning broads cackling. It really has become political propaganda.
That'd be a great show. Morning Broads.
Yes, morning broads.
already have
I
it.
love that.
Yeah.
Morning broads.
Morning Broads.
You'd run into a wall trying to get to it.
Every morning if we're on time and sober.
Yes. They never are. You can always tell there's at least one of them who's had a rough night on The
Sauced
View.
it up,
You can
yeah.
tell. Usually Anna Navarro. And I don't know if you know this. We're going to get to this clip. I'm going to show you the clip in its entirety and then fact check each individual claim very quickly. But first, most important is Anna Navarro, for those who don't know, used to be a Republican.
I thought you were going to say she used to be a russet potato.
Close enough.
Close enough. She threw an absolute tantrum over Donald Trump's Border Czar's pick. We introduced you to him yesterday. Tom Homan. Let's watch her.
Look, Donald Trump won the electoral vote. He won. He's going to win the House. He won the Senate. For all effects and purposes, he's got the Supreme Court. They've given him
He's got like
immunity.
a reverse mohawk.
This is what the country voted for. This is, a lot of people thought that when he talked about mass deportations, he wasn't being serious. I don't know how many times he had to say it for people to realize he was being serious. Well, if you thought he wasn't being serious, the appointment of Tom Homan today as Border Czar, and he will be in charge of a mass deportation program, the largest the country has ever seen, they say. And now Stephen Miller, as Deputy Chief of Staff, should let you know that he was absolutely serious. And when you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportations. What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. Yep. What it means is abuelos y abuelas. It means dreamers. It means your family members. It means your colleagues. It means your friends. It means people who are part of the society. And look, America, those of you who voted for Trump, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You screwed around and you're about to find out.
Hey! Here we go. We like to screw around. Listen, be serious, bro. The best part about screwing around is you get to find out.
Orale! Time to find out.
That's right. What if I screw around and didn't find out? That'd be disgusting. Time for a little bit of claim truth fact checking. All references available at lidoscredit.com or link in the description. So here's the first claim that Miss Navarro makes. I'll just pronounce it a bunch of different ways. What do you have a party hat?
They gave me a solo.
I didn't realize.
That's the wrong one, man.
Bro, we don't wear that.
I don't know what to do.
That's
I
the
think
wrong
you get
one.
your ass kicked, Brian, something like that, man.
They gave me this little sombrero.
All right, sorry, I was distracted. Let's do this.
Chihuahua.
Let's do this again. Claim.
Oh, dang.
The claim
There you go.
that Anna Navarro is making is that people didn't think, and this just shows how the misconceptions that the left have. She believes that the people who voted for Donald Trump didn't think he was serious about his border policy. Here you go.
A lot of people thought that when he talked about mass deportations, he wasn't being serious.
Here's the truth.
What?
People voted for Donald Trump precisely because he was serious about deportations, and a majority of Americans actually favor mass deportation. 62% of Americans, this comes from YouGov, go check the reference, and 53% of Latinos.
We voted for him because he was very serious.
Yes.
About deportations.
I voted for him because I thought he'd send back my uncle.
I voted for him because I like this hat. Where did your hat go?
That's right. You know who never gets offended by these hats? Actual Mexicans.
No, they like it.
So here's another claim that Anna Navarro makes. This isn't going to last that long. She says, and this couldn't be more wrong, there aren't enough illegal criminals in prisons to have any kind of mass deportation.
When you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportations.
Here's the truth, and I am going to be as precise with my words as possible. There are Exactly enough illegals for mass deportations in federal prisons specifically alone. Between 2019 and 2023, 124,154 illegal aliens were federally sentenced. That's the population of West Palm Beach, Florida. Everything that you have just said is wrong. Here's another truth for you. That was just from 2019 to 23. Over 20% of federal inmates are illegals.
Wow.
Not enough.
How's that even possible?
We need more, okay?
And by the way, though, the reason she's saying this, thank you, Milk Club, because we have moved that Overton window. We're the ones. This is the place where we said, let's just start.
Yep.
Let's just start with violent felons, with violent criminals. How about that? Let's just start with the people in our... How can you not take... There are some rare freebies. When the left talks about common ground, okay, let me give you some freebies. If we can't find common ground on this, it doesn't exist. Here's a gimme, left, where you don't have to lose elections because of this. No, of course, biological men shouldn't be able to beat the crap out of women in sports. That's an easy one. You can't do that. How about there should not be a single person who is apprehended for a violent crime, discovered to be an illegal alien, and not immediately given the boot. Every single person who is here illegally and commits additional crimes should be gone.
Yeah, we shouldn't give them room and board.
Those are called freebies. Those are called gimmies. And the left is still fighting against it. This is why appeasing crocodiles is futile. Here's another claim that she makes, that Trump's going to send the people you like away.
What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. Yep. What it means is abuelos y abuelas.
It's pronounced abuelas.
You know what? I gotta say, it's a joyous culture. I get it. I put
It
on the
is. It's
hat, I
a
put
fun
on this.
culture. It's fun. They got 2 Independence Days. I love it.
Yeah.
Dude, what is she?
Oh yeah, I gotta put on my headphones.
Why does she? I love the. By the way, I love the fake. Like her Latina comes out when she's like brothers and uncles. I forgot. It's tios and hermanos. I forgot. But abuelos y abuela. She can say and.
No, I gosh. Fine. Okay, we get it.
We get it. You have culture.
We get it, just like we get that you're one of the unfortunate fat ladies who lost weight and her tits. Here's the truth. Maybe Donald Trump is going to deport your abuelas, if they are here illegally, just to be clear. And that may happen sometimes. But again, you have a problem with mass deporting violent felons, 123-something odd thousand to be specific between 2019 and 2023. And this is what I want, and I want to go to you in a second, but this is what I want you to do when you watch these people. Look at the rate limiting factor. Is the argument about abuelos y abuelas, or is the argument taking place, is the battlefield, wait, hold on a second, we have to deport every single violent criminal who's here illegally? They can't even do that. California is taking measures to protect themselves from Donald Trump potentially deporting, yes, criminals. They view it as so important. And let me ask you this. Why? Why is it so important for the left to not have any voter ID? Why is it so important to the left to keep violent criminals here or illegal aliens here who could potentially be released from prison? Why? I cannot come up with a good answer other than hoping to purchase a voting base. There's no good answer for the American citizen. Yeah.
You and I were on the exact same page. I was thinking of California. They don't just oppose getting rid of violent felons who are here illegally. They set up sanctuary cities to make sure that they stay here, and they don't allow ICE. They don't notify ICE to come and get people. They don't allow ICE to come in and take people. So it goes far beyond that. Gavin Newsom just called, I believe, a special session, or is trying to call one, to try to shore up their laws to make it more difficult for the Trump administration to do what they said they were going to do.
Yep.
A lot of illegals are probably in California.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big part of the problem.
That might be a big reason that the Hispanic vote went for Donald Trump, because we've talked to a lot of these people who live in these cities, and guess what? Law-abiding immigrants there, they don't get the same police services. They're afraid. They're afraid to reach out to the police. They're afraid to report crimes. Yeah. Why? Because sometimes these neighborhoods are dominated by cartels or dominated by people who are here and willing to commit crimes. It hurts legal immigrants. And I'm not talking about the Polish or the Italian or the Jews. I'm talking about Hispanic legal immigrants are most negatively affected in this country by sanctuary cities. Anna Navarro, why don't you care? I'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah. By the way, they're talking about it on CNN right now. Trump immigration advisor, mass deportations begin on day one. Fan-frickin-tastic. January 20th is going to be one hell of a holiday.
Yep.
But all they're doing right now, they're leaning right back into it. Led fight against Trump's family separation policy. Wait a minute. Wait. You mean Obama's family separation
Flores
policy?
consent. Well, actually, it goes back to, I believe,
Further
the
than
Flores
that, really.
consent policy, where then they went back and forth, and families can be separated and they can't be separated.
This is their
Trump's
fight.
guy clearly said he's going to deport the family together.
Yeah, that's right. He's not going to separate them, guys. Come on.
You were upset about it yesterday. Why don't you go back to that clip from yesterday where you're upset about it? And
Well,
remember
they're upset if you deport the whole family because that's cruel, and they're upset if you deport just the parents without the kids because that's cruel. So what do we do?
Deport just the kids.
Oh, don't deport anyone.
Ah, that's right.
That's why you lose. You get nothing.
You lose.
Afuera!
By the way, speaking of government overreach, don't let the tax man pipe you, okay? Contact Tax Network USA for some help, guidance. You saw the spot earlier with Wesley Snipes. Could have used them. TNUSA.com/Crowder. That's TNUSA.com/Crowder. Everyone needs a little bit of help with taxes. And you know what? Even if you think you don't, you'll find out that you actually did, because we have a very, very complicated tax code.
We do.
And hey, that would be something that could be streamlined by the administration.
No freaking kidding. Elon Musk, start with the IRS.
Yeah.
Like with your efficiency program.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Let's start with this. We don't need the 78,000 new employees.
There you go.
We're gonna fire them. Hey, they're not settled in yet. In other words, we're not taking away a job from someone who's about to get their pension, who's been working for 30 years. You just, with the stroke of a pen, said, okay, we're gonna have 70,000+ new employees. Okay, those are gone. Nope. This is the issue with the left. Once they give control to the government, every single downsizing, every single efficiency measure that is proposed is their last stand. Mm-hmm. They're never willing to scale it back. You expand the size, it never scales back down. Let's keep that in mind. And I think it's time to kind of, let's look at this a little more in some context. Time to take a hatchet to the government. It really is.
Yeah.
You know what's less funny than taxes?
What?
Stephen Colbert. This brings us to our latest installment of Who Did It Better? Now, when you see this sketch from Stephen Colbert, I want you to think, I believe it's a $15 million salary or $10 million salary, multi-$100 million annual budget. And they posted this sketch of a phone call between Donald Trump and Zelensky.
The Late Show has acquired the full audio recording of the Trump-Zelensky call. Hello?
Hello, this is Donald Trump.
Hello, Mr. Trump. I'm very interested to discuss with you the future of Ukraine.
Could you possibly speak to Elon Musk?
Look, our country is being invaded.
If anyone would know about aliens on Earth, it would probably be me.
No, not aliens, Russians invading our territory.
Let me tell you something, man. You're in the wrong territory, brother. This is hot country.
This is our country. Russia must back down.
Well, I won't back down.
We're still
I
here.
don't understand. Are you speaking for Putin? This is difficult in English. Does anyone speak Ukrainian?
Now, this is the problem with writing comedy, but objectively, look, it's not funny. You can look at Jon Stewart's coverage since the election. I think it's pretty funny. Objectively, that's not funny. That's the problem with having comedy written by committee and diversity. It's like, oh my God, it was written by a black girl. We got to get it on the show. And so nothing has to actually just meet the requirement of being funny. But here's also why it sucks. So much money. They didn't change the audio so it sounds like an actual phone call. They didn't blend the audio objectively from these different sources.
The phone never picked up.
The phone never picked up. Nothing about that sets it up.
Every voice came in, wasn't, like you said, it wasn't blended, wasn't mastered.
It came in, it'd be like me saying, hey, imagine if there's a phone call and I'm talking right like this into the microphone. So it really is, I'm telling you this, objectively lazy. I get that comedy is subjective, but they are objectively lazy. It objectively sucks from a quality standpoint. And I'm not taking credit for this, but of course the wonderful team here, what we put together. Let's see who did it better. We did something similar with an audio sketch, I believe, between Putin and NATO.
Yeah, it's a NATO call.
Subject matter-ish. Here we go.
Hello there. I'm calling on behalf of NATO, and we'd like to know if you'd be interested in joining our humble alliance. Really? You want Russia to join NATO? Oh dear, this isn't Belarus. How embarrassing. Poached egg on my face, to be sure. Poached egg. Is the offer valid for you? Well, I don't know about that. You'd have to ask France. They're on the line, see? Jamais dans un milieu d'année, ne vous laisserai vous rejoindre, maudit salope! What did the boy say?
And it's even funnier if you speak French.
Yes.
As in the installment of Who Did It Better.
That reminds me, I was supposed to tell you something. Maj ma put.
Oh, no.
What did he say?
I don't know what I
think
said.
you would say plut.
Plut, yeah.
Plut.
Maj ma
You're
plut.
confusing put is a different cuss word, but the expression that you are saying.
Is each my.
No.
Hey, I don't want to know what it means.
It's from.
I don't want to know.
Believe it or not, I'm sorry. I'm just because you put me in the spot. It's from Johnny Boy's filthy grandmother.
That's what he told me. His abuela.
It's the most disgusting thing you could possibly imagine
For
and
a
she would
grandmother to say?
For a human to say. And his grandmother would say it. This is the same grandmother who killed her poodle with Tylenol.
That sounds more humane than Kristi Noem.
Hold on.
And it was a black poodle, and she had a little racist term of endearment. I think it's okay. This grandmother was a monster. French Canadians, comment below. Imagine your grandmother saying, "Mange ma plut."
Oh, that's gross.
Si cales. All right. So disgusting.
Sorry about
One of the best cuss words in French is tabernacle. Like, what does that mean? Come on.
Tabernacle.
No, I understand, but how does that become a cuss word?
It's a whole thing with the Catholic Church in Quebec.
Yeah, clean up that dirty mouth.
Yeah, clear up that dirty
Gerald.
I tell you what, if you yell one communion wafer, I'm muting your mic for the rest of the day.
What?
It's another cuss word in French.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. It's communion wafer.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
In
You
French,
guys hate
okay,
the
look,
church.
I'll take 2 seconds to explain this too. And because in the sentence structure in French, they put the cuss word at the end of it. So they'll say like
stick the landing.
Like if they're saying like Gerald is effing gay, instead they would put it at the end. They'd be like, Gerald y a une tapette esti. So esti is at the end of it. So. But then it translates to English-speaking Canadians in French Canada, where they'll actually cuss at the end of their sentence. So they'll go, Gerald today is dressed really gay. They use it like punctuation.
It's like random. You're like, what happened?
That's odd.
It's really weird. All right. Speaking of odd, and by the way, I need to tread carefully because this next story involves a country that is clearly getting antsy. And when they get antsy, I get nervous.
It's true.
I'm speaking, of course, of Germany, and they're a little antsy because their government collapsed after their coalition of right-wing socialists. The parliamentary system completely fell apart.
In Germany, Chancellor Olaf Scholz is under increasing pressure to hold a confidence vote in parliament after the collapse of his coalition government. The move would potentially pave the way for early elections. Scholz has said he'll call a vote of confidence after the new year, but opposition leaders and many German voters say that's not soon enough.
By the way, she did just walk in from the rain, that broadcaster.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. So it collapsed, but for those of you who don't know, it sounds sort of silly, like they have a vote of no confidence.
Right.
It's like, are you feeling confident? That's the basis of government. So they can't host a snap election. You can get to a point where someone can call an election, right? It doesn't necessarily happen every 4 years. I don't want to get into the intricacies, but I'm not a big fan of the parliamentary system. The reason they cannot host a snap election in Germany, and the reason that people have less confidence in the Western world in general, is because of situations like this. In Germany, they can't host a snap election because they ran out of paper.
Und insbesondere ist es eine große Herausforderung in der heutigen Zeit, wirklich das Papier zu beschaffen und die Druckaufträge durchzuführen.
One guess as to who they blame for that.
Yes.
Oh, come on. That's
it's tough. It's tough to do when you blamed them for not having their papers.
Yeah.
And then this funny part is the German paper industry pushed back. Now this is in German, but if you're listening on audio, no translation is necessary. See if you can spot it.
Inzwischen hat die Papierindustrie reagiert. Wir haben Papier. Die deutsche Papierindustrie ist sehr leistungsfähig, so Alexander von Reibnitz.
I could have just read a quote saying, "We have paper!" So they do have paper. So, you may think there's some foul play here. And of course, this prompted a response from Germany's opposition party.
Your papers, please.
You have some Post-its. I spare to government.
That was weird, but
serious.
Germany's very on the nose with their messaging and comedy. This is the first time in history Germany has stopped asking for papers.
Hey, good news for Germany, bad news for the world.
Yeah.
Poland has a lot of paper.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're pretty proud of it.
Germany's run out of paper. Next, they'll run out of ink for barcode tattoos.
And they'll be screaming, "Hail the third ream."
Just tear down the walnut tree and make some paper already, okay?
And by the way, we intercepted this German broadcast, and it does seem, though, like they are getting it under control.
Okay.
Achtung! Achtung! Official state transmission to follow. We have run out of paper for ballots. But do not panic. To vote, simply head to your nearest rail station, where you will be transported at no cost to you to an off-site secure location. There, you will be registered to vote. You will be branded with a personal registration identification number, and there you will shower. Then, you wait until it is your turn to take part in the glory of choosing mein Führer. End of transmission.
You know, I just still don't trust Germany.
Never.
They never sound trustworthy on the radio.
No, they do not.
It's just something about it.
There's just
something about playing, Medal of Honor on PlayStation 2 just makes me not trust a radio.
Oh my gosh, I love that game. Me and Johnny Boy used to play that game.
Yeah.
Remember, you used to have the M1 and it would go ping, and the Germans would know, like,
and they would hear it. Yeah,
they'd hear it.
Out.
Like, he's out of ammo.
It kind of freaked me out because you have to go through catacombs, and I was like, these are real things that they would bury their dead and then just keep them right here.
I think it was like one of the first games that I remember that had that level of multiplayer, and then I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm showing my age. All right,
like this is something we're going to read. Like, hey, what happened right before Germany went crazy again? Well, they ran out of paper.
Yes.
The other time is like, well, they started blaming the Jews for everything.
Well, they get everything wrong aside from car engines.
Yes.
They're like, well, let's turn on the paper mills. What? We changed everything to solar and wind. But who the fuck did that? Oh, it was me. Oh, no. Everything about Germany is wrong.
Something about us.
They're going to be coming
wearing that and doing a German accent.
The German government's going to be coming for the accountants next.
Yes, exactly.
I know what you're doing.
You have the paper. We know. It's in the attic.
Jeez, Gerald.
Don't you know that's a fire hazard? You can't keep paper in the attic with the insulation. Also, the Jews are very flammable. Wait. No, I love Judens.
That's just anti-paper now.
Scheiße. Just think I've let my mask fall?
all this crap at the poncho, dude.
Right now, there's one of our German fans watching, like, that's why we don't take. I'll be damned if I'm going to take advice from some wetback. All right.
Hitler bad.
This is the perfect culmination of what my life's become.
Yes.
By the way, you can still go support if you're not a Rumble Premium member. Really, the other main way to support is CrowderShop.com. You have the Trump 1 shirt, 45 and 47. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. CrowderShop.com. We don't sell what are those things called? I forget. The ponchos? We don't
is this
ponchos.
Technically a poncho?
I don't know. We don't sell those.
Yeah, I think it is a poncho.
Trump 47?
Poncho.
Yeah.
When I think ponchos, I think like at sports games where you just have the tarp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a poncho. That's a poncho.
That's a poncho.
Oh, Lord.
It's different.
Shut up.
Poncho.
Diferente.
Like when I say mi abuela y abuelo. Was it abuela?
I love that restaurant, Abuelos. They say that to like try to humanize them a little more. Oh, it's abuelos and abuelos. They're old people. They're helpless. Well, I'm sorry, but if your abuelo is raping a teenager, fuck them.
They are, Josh.
It's true. Let's start with. I think what he's trying to say is let's start with the rapist abuelos.
Yes, they must go.
Start with those.
Yeah,
they've lived here long enough.
We need to build the wall poncho.
Yeah, good. Write it down.
Merch shop is getting crazy.
Yes, it is.
Build the wall poncho.
No one else is selling ponchos. No one else is doing it. Untapped market.
That's true. It is completely. Well, then look at the Latino vote.
There you go.
And I don't know when it's appropriate to say Hispanic or Latino, so I'll use them interchangeably, and I don't care. Let's go. You know what? Let's go to Donald Trump. This is something a lot of people out there are saying, hey, can you help us sort of navigate this a little bit? Because there are a lot of cabinet positions that need to be. I think it's well into the hundreds that take place over the course of a presidency, as far as
a lot of appointments,
putting appointments, not cabinet, but you appoint people to the cabinet, and then there are hundreds of appointments that stem from that. So these are pretty important picks. And especially considering that, I think a valid criticism is Donald Trump would cycle through some cabinet appointments pretty quickly. But again, you have to understand this guy was an outsider, and I'm hoping now he's a little more equipped to deal with this. And I will tell you this: what we're seeing as far as a theme is we are seeing a very targeted foreign policy, very concentrated. So in other words, it's not something that's haphazard, what they've accused Donald Trump of doing. And then you're seeing some experts undergird that with efficiency, cost efficiency. In other words, no, we don't. Hold on a second. We don't want wars everywhere, but some places make sense to support militarily. But we have to make sure that we're not wasting money. And that's something you can do. You can't really have a president necessarily, certainly not quickly, just absolve us or do away with the deficit, right? Which would cut into the debt. That's pretty tough to do. But you can take actions to whittle away at the inefficiency. So at least at the end of the day, someone's not holding a bill of stuff that you never should have purchased in the first place. So let's go through some of these cabinet positions, and you can let me know which one you're most excited about or which one you're not excited about. To be clear, all of them are flawed, but all of them have some good sides to them. Marco Rubio is going to be Secretary of State. So if these reports are confirmed, that would again show, Marco Rubio, as far as Secretary of State, as far as how it relates to foreign policy, and he would be the top advisor, by the way, to the president on foreign policy. He'd be conducting a lot of negotiations, treaties, agreements. That's a big part of what a Secretary of State does. He's been really pretty clear that he's been in line with Donald Trump's posturing on foreign policy, which is typically a strongman, muscular posturing, without engaging in needless conflict. He's very much, Marco Rubio, for maximum pressures, sanctions against Iran, which we saw in the first administration, and we saw undone. And he's pretty, one thing, so to give you an idea, he's not really big on Ukraine. He's actually been pretty critical. This is overlay D3. Critical of funding to Ukraine, called the National Security Bill, which sent $61 billion to Ukraine, moral extortion and blackmail. And he also agreed on NBC, I believe in September, with Donald Trump's plan to end the war.
I'm not on Russia's side, but unfortunately the reality of it is that the way the war in Ukraine is going to end is with a negotiated settlement. And I want, and we want, and I believe Donald Trump wants, for Ukraine to have more leverage in that negotiation. But in order to be in a position to be a broker who can bring about that agreement, I think he's going to preserve what he says. He approaches these things as someone not in politics or diplomacy, but as someone with a background in business.
So that's how it relates to spending, which, again, we were told that all Americans supported the spending on Ukraine. All Americans supported this foreign intervention. And very much like us, he is morally on board with supporting Israel's right. This is a contrast to Ukraine and Russia. Right? In other words, you can be, this is not something that should involve the United States. But you know what? I also think that it's important to let Israel know that they have the right to defend themselves and they have the right to, effectively destroy the enemies who want to wipe out all the Jews. So again, that's a concerted approach. Whether you agree with it or not, it's not scattershot. And you can see Rubio's stance on Israel in this pretty fun clip.
Senator Rubio, will you call for a ceasefire?
No, I will not. On the contrary.
Rubio,
are you filming it? I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes. And I hope you guys post that.
And what about the civilians that are being killed every day?
Hamas should stop hiding behind civilians, putting civilians in the way. Hamas knew that this was going to lead to this. So Hamas should stop building their military installations underneath hospitals.
So you don't care that 15,000 have died? You don't care about the babies that are being killed every day?
I think it's horrifying. I think it's terrible, and I think Hamas is 100% to blame. That's what I think. Make sure you post that, please.
And just to be clear, that woman, first off, I don't know at what point in time she was probably using Hamas numbers.
Yeah.
When someone says, you don't care about, it doesn't matter what it is. When they go to you don't care about X lives lost, if it's gun control. You don't care about X. It means they're being disingenuous. Far more lives are saved by firearms every year in the United States defensively. Hold on a second. There were people who were raped and killed in Israel, innocent civilians who were targeted. Look, the conversation is not that neither one of us cares not about the loss of innocent life. I believe that crazy lady that likely socialist crazy lady cares about the innocent lives lost. I believe if it were to come down to it, she would feel bad for the innocent lives lost in Israel. She just cares more about the people in Palestine, who unfortunately, a huge portion of them, elected Hamas. It's just disingenuous, and I would just say disengage when someone tries to pull that you don't care about these lives lost.
I think she cares more about the moral value that she sees with her, her group of friends, the mob or whatever. I don't think she actually cares. I think the thing would be great is you go, oh, you feel bad? Give me a solution.
Right.
They don't have one.
No.
Stop the pain.
Do you care about the rockets that are constantly fired, like all the time? Right. Let's not just focus on one day, but also look, so these are the conflicts that are going on right now. He's good on Iran, which is to prevent a conflict. He's also, I think, pretty good on China when it comes to, trade and competition and how we have to view them strategically, because that involves, that's the other flashpoint in the world right now that we need to have really good eyes on. So I think this is a better pick than a lot of people think.
And you guys can comment. I know some people are saying, he's a rhino, or he's a neocon. I don't really know that I see that from Rubio. And he's been on the show, full disclosure, but we've had plenty of people on the show who I agree with on some things, disagree on some other things. I have people on the show regularly who I don't even necessarily like.
Why do you have to say that about
everyone's looking around.
I think everybody looked at the same spot.
He was...
my contract's almost up.
Rubio was fun when he was on the show I think he's been on 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And here's something else that this shows. It shows that with Donald Trump, the showmanship during an election is a little bit different from how he governs. He is able to put some grudges behind him because he went in pretty hard on Rubio.
Look at those hands. Are they small hands? And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee. When they put Marco on to refute President Obama's speech, do you remember that catastrophe? And he's like this, and we were, I need water. Help me. I need water. Help. And this is on live television.
That was almost a politically career-ending move by Marco Rubio, was getting dry mouth.
I know.
Giving the Republican response and dying on air.
I know. And then he was like, hey, Marco, you want a job?
Let's do it.
How much do you want to bet that Rubio was half expecting? Shake!
The old whoop.
Yeah. Let's look at the next position. That again, some of these are tentative; they're not all confirmed, but it seems as though this is the way it's going.
Yeah.
For National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz from Florida, and again, this really shows that if we're not going to engage in needless conflict, is that something that can be reconciled with, having the most powerful military in the world? Yes, especially when that includes being a cost-efficient military and not wasting money. Sometimes people just equate throwing money at the military with making it the most powerful in the world. I think we can all agree objectively that at this point in time, that's no longer the case.
No, cutting the DEI program would probably be the first place to start.
Yes.
I can tell
Save
you
a bunch of money there.
100% objectively.
Yes.
It's a lot of waste going on.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, it's not supporting your troops if you say, hey, there might be more efficient ways to spend money so that then we could actually help our troops who are in harm's way more effectively.
No, it's not bad to say that kind of thing. Like, when was the last time you saw a tank in battle, an American tank in battle? Do you know how many are sitting in El Paso, just sitting there on concrete slab doing nothing?
Really? Yeah.
Dude, there's like hundreds. I mean, maybe even more.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of them. You can get a drone view of them. They're just sitting there.
Not to mention the choppers in Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah. They broke.
They're trying to fly those.
They tried to fly them and they broke.
So what would this man do, Waltz? He would, he'd be obviously advising the president on intelligence matters. He'd be preparing a lot of the daily briefings on national security issues. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Waltz is a Green Beret. He doesn't have the Tim Waltz qualification.
No, of course.
But he's also advocated for major reform over there at the Pentagon.
I think regardless of who he puts in, we need real reform in the Pentagon. Everything they buy seemingly costs twice as much, delivers half as much, and takes twice as long as it should. And the soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, they deserve better. And we need to get a culture of accountability into that place. No one ever seems to get fired with these massive cost overruns, massive waste. People were just circulating, Neil, a video of a hearing I had where I held up a bag of bolts that cost $90,000 for the Air Force to buy. It's a couple $100 in a hardware store. So things got to change. We don't need managers there. We need reformers.
To be fair, he got said bolts from Frankenstein's closet.
Well, they're very special.
They're a
bolts.
specialty item.
This is a guy who's special forces. They didn't have a budget like the rest of the military.
Right.
So this is coming from somebody who had like unlimited funds, who's like, hey,
Right.
maybe not unlimited funds. Like we need to, square this up, man.
Yeah, I think sometimes people have this misconception where special forces, they think it's like James Bond, where because they're getting all of these gadgets, and in a lot of ways, they're being forced to do more with not all that much more.
Yeah, the SF guys, they go into other cultures and teach them how to, kind of like the guerrilla warfare and how they teach people how to overthrow. That's what SF's designed to do.
Yeah.
So they're going into villages with nothing. The guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, sounds like that's the kind of guy you would want. Hey, combine that with Elon Musk, because if you're looking at a government efficiency expert, good. That's what we need. We need a turnaround guy to come in now and say, look, I know you don't like this, but we're going to have to give a bunch of people their walking papers. Waltz is very hawkish on China, to be clear, so in line with Rubio, that would seem. He's been critical of continued support for Ukraine. He wants a negotiated settlement. So again, this is former special forces. Doesn't mean that they don't support our military, that they don't understand that conflict is taking place across the globe. He said, I think that will get Putin to the table. We have leverage, like taking the handcuffs off of the long-range weapons we provided Ukraine as well. And then, of course, I think we have plenty of leverage with Zelensky to get them to the table. So he believes in diplomacy. Isn't that a wonderful thing?
That's exactly what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to fund a bloodfest forever.
Well, this guy doesn't have any
exactly
lobbyists
what
in
it
his
is.
pocket.
Nobody's
So.
going to win.
All these fascist diplomats.
Yes. Yeah. all these fascist non-war hawks. That being said, the next one. All right.
Well,
she likes to kill dogs, so that's a tough
dog.
one. I get it. It's not lost on me. Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security.
Definitely not a pikey.
Sparky. So, like the Border Czar, and again, this shows that there's synergy here between these cabinet positions. So I think he's being advised pretty well at this point. It's a little early to tell, but I like what I'm seeing. So the Border Czar, we told you about him yesterday, and AOC lost her mind on him, but then also secretly wanted him to give her a hug.
Butter her biscuit, so to speak.
Kristi Noem, she's never minced words on the border. Okay, she's been pretty strong on that. So, Director of Homeland Security, what does that mean she would do? She would be involved with immigration laws, border security, maritime security, security at the ports, right? She's been a very staunch supporter of strict immigration. Okay, she supported Donald Trump's what people called the Muslim ban from terrorism-ravaged countries. She deployed the South Dakota National Guard multiple times to the border. She offered to drive razor wire to Texas herself, and she tweeted this in 2021. South Dakota won't be taking any illegal immigrants that the Biden administration wants to relocate. My message to illegal immigrants, call me when you're an American.
That's fair. She's like, call me.
Yeah.
And here's my number.
Just wait.
Yes. Although that might send out the wrong signal, because someone might actually go through the whole naturalization process and then call her and think they have a shot.
Well, and then John Wick called her and said, why'd you kill the dog?
Yes. So she was picked. John Wick went, no way, bro. Way.
That was so silly.
Little Miss Muffet eating her curds and way.
Well, that's a different way.
No.
Yes. So, here's the thing. I think we can all agree. There are pros, there are cons. No matter what, she will definitely be better than current director Alejandro Mayorkas.
I'm asking you that today, as we sit here today, are all 9 sectors of the southwest border secure? And I'm just asking for a yes or no answer.
Congressman, I know you are asking for a yes or no answer. And the fact of the matter is that the challenges at the border are very complex and dynamic.
All right, well, I'm going to take from that if you can't answer yes, then the answer is no.
That is not true.
All right, so then you're saying all 9 are secure.
It is my testimony that the border is secure, and we are working every day, day and night, to increase its security.
Look, and here's the thing, too. Of course, we all know that Kamala Harris was border czar. She was, tasked with investigating the root cause of immigration at the Southern Triangle. Do I have that right?
I think so, yes.
Something like that?
It was dubbed the czar by Axios, not by Republicans, by the way.
Yes, but that was the talking
do a
point.
research paper on it or something.
The numbers more than quadrupled. Okay, that's just a fact. And I've been watching a lot of the leftist shows where they try and say, well, people are saying this, but actually the Biden administration did well on the border. What? First off, I get it. You don't have an answer by a poll, but the polls reflect the truth. 3 million under Donald Trump, his entire presidency. At minimum 12, more than likely 20 million. Up just to today with the Biden administration. Objectively, it is much worse. And then you can trace it and say, oh, that's because of the policies. And then you can trace that to a poll and say, and people believe that this is the case. This is good news. The polls actually line up with reality, which is not always the case. So if you look at these cabinet picks, it tends to give us a pretty clear picture, right? These picks are in line with the idea that Donald Trump has expressed quite a bit, which is peace through strength, right? We don't go to war, but we make sure that if we need to, we can blow our opponent out of the water. They're all focused on cost cutting, on being efficient. They're all focused on reducing, at least right now, what they claim, reducing government back to its intended scope. What you're looking at right now is you're seeing people saying, okay, is it a legitimate role of government for us to have a military? Yes. Is it a legitimate role of government to provide no-bid contracts, right? No-bid military contracts so that these weapons manufacturers and even third-party companies become wealthy? No, it is not. Is it within the legitimate American government purview to provide a never-ending supply of funding to Ukraine? No, it is not. Is it within the American government's purview to secure our borders? Yes, it is. Is it within our purview to do so efficiently? At the benefit of the American taxpayer. We do need a government that looks out for the American citizen, the American taxpayer, because we pay their salaries and not simply looking for a new voting bloc that's available for purchase. That's, I think, the starkest contrast that you will see in policy between the last administration and the new administration. And we're going to talk about the Senate Royal Rumble that's taking place. But right now, click that button if you're watching on Rumble. Join Rumble Premium. Mug Club is now Rumble Premium. Rumble Premium is now Mug Club. You get the additional show that will continue today. Of course, you get the shows Friday and everything else on Rumble Premium and ad-free. Let's go to the battle for Senate leadership, which involved